Hello there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to give you 7 tough manager interview questions and brilliant answers. So it does not matter what kind of manager interview you have coming up, I promise you this tutorial will make a huge difference to your preparation, so please do stick around and watch it from beginning to end. Now before I get into those 7 tough manager interview questions and answers, a very warm welcome to my training tutorial. That's me there in the centre, the bald chap. My name is Richard McMunn. I am a former fire officer of 20 years. I then founded the interview training website passmyinterview.com, which focuses on giving you top scoring answers to your interview questions. I was also a manager myself for many years. So I have a great approach to answering manager interview questions. Please do subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button below the video and also turning the notification bell on. That way you won't miss out on any of the weekly training videos I'm uploading. And I would also appreciate your support by giving the video a like. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. Okay, let's get straight into those 7 tough manager interview questions and answers. Please do take notes as I progress. And I will also tell you at some stage where you can download the full set of slides, the interview questions and answers that are coming your way right now. So, tough interview question number 1. What principles would you follow as a manager? So what principles would you follow as a manager? Here's my suggested answer. I would follow 5 core principles as a manager. These are leading, planning, organising, staffing and controlling. I would lead by example and take full responsibility, not only for my own actions and performance, but also that of my team. I would plan everything well in advance to ensure we were on track to achieve the organisation's objectives. I would organise my team to ensure all team members were not only playing to their strengths, but that they also had the resources and the support necessary to do their jobs properly. Now, in respect of staffing, I would take my time to choose the right people for each position advertised within the team. And finally, I would maintain control of my team's output and performance through regular team meetings, appraisals, and by only accepting the very highest standards of work from everyone. So that's a rock solid answer to that question. It demonstrates you have the right principles. And you will notice that I do this with a lot of answers to interview questions, tough interview questions. I focus on a number of objectives. So here we have given 5 core principles. That shows that you are intelligent as a manager and you know what you are talking about. Next question. How would you evaluate your team's performance without micromanaging? So there is nothing worse than a micromanager. I've worked in teams before when I was younger where someone micromanaged me and I didn't feel that I could develop to my full potential. Having said that, you still need to demonstrate that you can manage your team and achieve the objectives. So, here's my answer to the interview question. How would you evaluate your team's performance without micromanaging? Here we go. First and foremost, I believe it is essential to set high standards and expectations from the outset. If a team knows you as their manager will only accept the best, they are far more likely to perform well without being closely managed. Now, to answer your question specifically, I would hold weekly team meetings to set standards and expectations and to also set goals and targets for each team member to achieve before the next meeting. I would then expect each team member to have completed their task or project by the deadline I set. That way, the team will get used to making sure they carry out each task as required and on time. It would be my intention to create a team culture whereby everyone takes responsibility for their own performance and their own workload. Now, this works very well. So I am not a massive fan of meetings. However, if I do have a meeting, it's only for a necessary period of time. It might be 30 minutes, it might be an hour. And I would listen to everyone. They would tell me how they've achieved their goals. They would tell me about their problems and I would put solutions in place so that they could overcome them. I would then set more targets for the next meeting. So the idea at the meeting is everyone comes there telling you how they performed and whether there's any problems, and then you can solve them. That way you are moving forward all of the time. How would you address a moral issue within your team? How would you address a morale issue within your team? So if you have a team where it has low morale, you need to sort it out and identify it quickly. So how would you address a morale issue within your team? First and foremost, as a manager, it is important to understand the causes of low morale. Low morale is usually caused by either wasted potential, people feeling badly treated, a lack of communication, not recognising hard work, and also unrealistic expectations. I would address the low morale head on by initially ascertaining the reason for it. And as an effective manager, I would know my team well and I would be able to get to the main cause of the morale problem quickly. I would then take decisive action by utilising open and honest communication, ensuring clarity of communication, praising and supporting my staff, and also holding regular discussions with them to ensure they were feeling valued. Now, to be honest, I would not expect my team to suffer from low morale, but if it did occur, I would take responsibility and rectify it quickly. So that's another great answer. Shows that you identify there is a low morale issue, but you know the causes of it. That's the main thing, so you can resolve it quickly. Next question. How would you manage a team of millennials? That's a tricky question, but one that is coming up more common during manager interviews. How would you manage a team of millennials? Here's my suggested answer. Each generation of employee requires a different method of management, and I believe I have the necessary skills and attributes to adapt when needed. I would create a strong team culture that was built upon the core company values. I would provide strong leadership and guidance, take advantage of their tech-savvy skills, focus on their strengths, and continually recognise their work and performance. I would also ensure we were collectively working towards goals that were ethically centred on building a positive future for the company and the customers or clients we were serving. Now, finally, I would encourage them to be leaders themselves and identify those within the team who clearly had potential and whom could help the organisation reach its full potential. So what you're doing there is you're understanding that millennials may have, a different set of drivers, things that drive them whilst they are at work. And you're focusing there on strong team cultures, ensuring that you're working towards an organisational goal that was ethically centred, and then identifying them as leaders themselves. And that's a great asset to have as a manager, where you are prepared to identify leaders within your team who can then go on and help the organisation achieve its full potential. That's selfless, and that's a great asset to have. Next question. How would you let one of your team members go? Tricky one. I've been in this kind of situation a couple of times. It's not nice to have to let people go. However, there is a good answer to this question that demonstrates you are able to do it, you're able to step up when required and do those difficult tasks. So here we go. The important things to consider when letting members of staff go is to ensure you have followed due process and have held regular performance meetings to give them the opportunity to rectify the situation if applicable. It is important to not drag out the process, and I would be clear and concise throughout the process of letting them go. I would also make sure I protected the organisation by ensuring I'd followed all rules, procedures and protocol, so there were no unfair dismissal claims later on down the line as a result of the dismissal process. My aim would be to carry out the process by treating them in as considerate and caring way as possible, whilst at the same time being clear, concise and confident in my communication, and also putting the needs of the organisation first. So that shows that you know what you would do, you understand the risks that are involved, and you need to protect yourself and the organisation, but that you will do it in a considerate and caring way and confident way where possible. So that's a good answer to that question. Don't forget, I'm going to tell you where you can download all of these 7 tough manager interview questions and answers very soon. Let's move on to the next one. Excuse me. Describe how you would deliver bad news to your team. So at times when you're managing a team, you have to give them bad news or negative news. How do you do that? This question predominantly assesses whether you are on the side of the senior management team, because I've been in situations before where a manager will come in and they'll say, oh, I've got some bad news, those upstairs don't understand us. That's no good. You are a manager and you are on the side of the directors, the shareholders, and you have to lead by example. So here's my answer to this question. Whenever I have to deliver bad or negative news to a team, I always get straight to the point and deliver it with confidence and clarity. Then, once I've delivered the news, I turn my attention to the future and the positive aspects of the situation we were in. As an effective manager, I believe it is important to be positive and to lead by example. I would then explain the reasons for the bad news, if applicable, so that everyone within the team could understand it and the situation we were in, that it was in the best interest of the organisation we were all working for. Above all, I would take responsibility for delivering the bad news, and I would ensure the team moved on from it as quickly as possible. It's a great answer to that question. Next one. What would be your 90-day plan once you join us? So a lot of management questions are based around what would you do within the first 30 days, but this requires a more in-depth level of thinking. What would be your 90-day plan once you join us? Here's my great answer to this question. My 90-day plan would consist of 5 key stages. First and foremost, I would obtain a clear brief from you, the senior management team, to ascertain what you want from me and what you want me to focus on and what you want me to achieve within the role. During the second stage, I would focus on assessing the current performance of the team for a 4-week period to ascertain their strengths, their weaknesses, and also to identify which areas I would need to address first of all. The third stage would be to create a plan of action for the team moving forward. This plan would be centred on the organisation's goals and what I wanted everyone to do in order to achieve them. The fourth stage would be to hold an in-depth team meeting with all members of staff, and during this meeting I would disclose my plan for the future, set the standards I expect from everyone, and also start to instill the positive and supportive culture I want the team to work towards. Finally, stage 5 would be where I support the team moving forward and hold annual appraisals with all team members to ensure my initial plan was on track to be achieved. So what I like about that, if you want to précis that down and to summarise, you could say I've got a 5-stage plan that involves getting a clear brief from you, assessing the current performance of the team, creating a plan of action, and I would then hold in-depth meetings with the team and then support them moving forward. So you could say that if you wanted to, but I like that because it's more in-depth and it shows that you already know what you're going to do as a manager. The worst thing is to say, well, I will just go in there and see what happens. I don't want to rock the boat initially. You have to have a plan. Yes, of course, you need to assess the team and their goals before you move forward. So, if you want to download my full set of manager interview questions and answers, click the link below the video, go to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you get my full set of 34 manager interview questions and high scoring answers. Hope you've enjoyed that. Please support the channel by subscribing and hitting the like button, the thumbs up button. I'd very much appreciate that. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best for passing your manager interview. Have a brilliant day.